I think we're live. Hello and welcome to the Stellar Ladies, coming to you from TP Towers. How crap was that? All right, good afternoon, everybody. We've already got a couple of people in the chat. I believe Rachel B was here early. Yes, 2 o'clock. That's our regular time now. Karen is already in. Here she is. And Antoinette Daly. So yes, hopefully you've got your coffee now and are ready to enjoy. I don't think anyone's watching at the moment, which is strange because there's people in the chat. There's Kelly. Hello. You can come in, Kelly, if you want to. Yes, it's been a mad week. So I'm a bit discombobulated, word of the week, one of my favourites. But we've, at the moment, got 4 lovelies with us. We have, of course, and I'm going to point the right way and go, Karen.
I'm back.
Yeah. And, of course, Karen. No, it's that way. Hey. There she is. So it's 4 of us so far. We may get more coming in. Who knows? We're just random enough to do very strange things. So topics for the week have ranged about a bit. What we thought we were doing, what we then thought we were doing. Who knows? But I always think if we start somewhere, we'll end up where we're meant to be going. I think that's all right, isn't it? Oh, Kirsten's in. Hello. Kelly's windswept. There we go. I think we're all windswept. Anyone that's been out this morning and enjoyed what is the glorious English weather we're having right now.
Yeah, windswept and damp.
Yes, it's sort of a wet pet feel to the hair this morning. It's just about dried out, but yeah, it's not good. And I will fiddle with my fringe because it's too long. So before anyone comments, yes, I'm going to cut it straight after this. Okay. So I think one of the subjects we were originally starting with, the sort of the gentler end of things, before we all get our knickers in a twist about eBay, because that will come later, I'm sure of it, is we were talking about things that people might think they should give up. There is this thing called Lent. Now, I'm not very well informed. Other people can probably tell me more about it. But the idea being that you kind of let go of something in order to move forward. And I wondered if anyone on here actually had given up anything specifically for Lent, and whether that's something you believe in, don't believe in, think is a good idea or not. So I'm going to start with Karen. Sorry, Karen and Karen. Bleh. Right, sorry. We're going to start with Karen.
Right. The whole idea of Lent is that you, it's not so much that you give something up, it's that you make more time for God. That is the whole idea of Lent, because it's approaching Jesus dying on the crucifix. I don't tend to give anything up, which may shock you as the only Christian in the room. I don't tend to give anything up. I do tend to donate money to charity every single day, and I'll make sure more of a point that I read my Bible every day. So there you go.
Oh, that's a lovely explanation. Yes, making time for God, whatever your God may be, I think is always a good thing. But I suppose specifically in the run up to Easter and people thinking about that, I can see why that would impact.
That's why you have Shrove Tuesday as well, because Shrove Tuesday I used to fast. They used to do big fastings. They would use up all the flour and all the excess ingredients, which is why you have Pancake Day.
Yes, which we got a day late. I had to make them Wednesday because I was out Tuesday. I'm not sure we've given up anything there. There was a lot of eggs, a lot of flour, and an awful lot of ice cream that went into them.
We just gorge ourselves now, and then we don't bother fasting. It's an excuse to eat a lot. Yeah.
Oh dear. Has anyone else given up anything then?
Have you given up anything? Oh, you have. Carry on.
Oh.
Well, not specifically for Lent, but for the whole year, I'm not drinking alcohol. So the last drink I had was New Year's Eve, and I'm planning on not drinking all year. I did do it a few years back and I was fine, so I'm just going to do it again.
Good for you.
I give up more things at Advent. I gave up alcohol for Advent. And that's not a time people normally give stuff up, but I gave it up for reasons.
Is that in the run up to Christmas, like the Advent calendar?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, just clarifying. I mean, as the only Christian in the room, I love that. It's like the only day in the village, isn't it? I'm the only Christian in the room.
Well, I was raised Catholic and I went to Catholic schools, so you know, I spent most of my early years always giving up something for Lent. And not do it anymore. What did you say?
Apologising for everything, saying Hail Mary some umpteen times.
Oh, I know. That's probably why I just live my life feeling guilty about everything. Yeah, I don't go to church anymore, and I have a wide range of beliefs. I strongly believe in God, but I have a wide range of beliefs, and I don't just believe in one particular faith. So so I don't give up anything anymore. But the one thing that I do remember being told at school is that you don't have to give something up. You could commit to doing something extra instead, which I always thought that was really nice, actually.
Yeah, much like Karen now, with committing to giving something to charity every day and reading your text of your Bible. So I think that's marvellous. I haven't had time. My feet are barely touched the ground, so I can't say I have really thought about it very much. But
I'll tell you, one year, a few years ago, I tried to give up TV for Lent. It was awful. I was like trying to do jigsaw puzzles in the evening just to stop myself from thinking, I'm just going to turn the telly on. No.
Some people go up with social media, don't they? But clearly not us.
No.
I think I gave up Facebook a few years ago for Lent. That was quite a few years ago. I think that was even before you had it on your phones. I gave that up for Lent. Because I used to find I used to go on the computer, and the first thing I used to do, that's it on Facebook. And then rather than doing what I should be doing on the computer, like paying a bill or something like that, I'd be there for like an hour. So.
Yeah, I have tried to give up wine at Lent. Well, I managed it. I did the whole thing, but oh my God.
Just got this wine. Why are you trying to
Never again. I remember we went out to like a murder mystery night and sat at this table. I was the only sober person in the room.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
It's not good, is it? No. We've got lots of lovely people in the chat here. I will say hello to them all. We have Rachel B. We have Nick, of course, is hello ladies, so that's where my wife is.
He knows where I am.
He knows where you are. You're in the same house. It's not like you're in the West Wing, is it? You're nearby. We've got Mum 5 Sons. Hello. Joan Morris. Hello, Joan. Kirsten Baxter. So our Kirsten count is 2. Southwest Sellers. Hello. Stephanie Edgerton. Oh, I'm trying not to butcher people's names. I'm terrible. Hello and afternoon. Hello, Gemma Lou. Hello, L33 Mrs. And I do know what your first name is. I have been told, and I'm having a brain fart. I can't remember.
It's Carrie.
Carrie, of course. Hello, Carrie. Hello, Shelley. She's in. Shelsteruni eBay Queen. Laney's in. Hello, Laney. Hope you're well. And we've got Antoinette Daly in. Oh, yes, Rachel B. did debate giving up chocolate. That was an internal conversation that was presumably over in about 3 seconds. If it's anything to me, I think, I could give up. Nope. Nat Resells. Hello. Ashley Cumming. Here we go. I can show this. Woo, look. There we go. Using Lent as a motivation for the final declutter push. Oh, that sounds almost physically painful, doesn't it? Making sure I declutter or sort or list at least one thing a day of Lent. Well, good luck with that, Ashley. I really hope you do, because it's nice to have a goal. She says, as somebody who very rarely commits to anything, that's a pretty darn good plan. So good luck with that one. And Kirsten's curiosity is Kirsten number 1 has actually already given up far too many things. Maybe you ought to build them back in again then.
I know what you mean, though. I feel that way these days because obviously I've given up. I don't eat meat. I don't eat dairy, and so many different things, and I can't eat normal chocolate anymore. So I think, well, I feel the same way. I've already given up too many things.
Yes, I think the sacrifice you've made is pretty full on. Chocolate, yes, beyond all doubt. I mean, my sort of general commitment this year was to reclaim TP Towers, get the office back, which I have. I'm no longer sat in my bed in a darkened bedroom. And we are very nearly at the very tidy stage. We're not quite there yet. There's still some things that I've got to move on, but it's getting there, and I'm feeling it makes me feel a bit happy to be better organised. I'm quite chaotic normally, sort of organised chaos, but the level where I know I can look over there and know all my reference books are there, I can look over there and know the jewellery's there, things like that are quite aesthetically pleasing. So I suppose if I've done anything with intent, that's been my thing for the early part of this year. It's getting better organised.
Maybe for Lent one year we should just all give up doing housework and see what happens.
Well, I pretty much try not to anyway. I try to do as little as humanly possible. Actually, I did quite well. I actually buy things on eBay as well as sell them. And I bid on a very big Persian rug because our dining room rug has got sort of holes in it. It's one of those rag ones, you know, the ones where they knot all the bits of rags together, and huge thing. We've had it for years, and my son's put holes in it because he's tips the dining room chair, you know, that teenage thing where you tip the chair back, and it's faded to buggery. So I actually won a really, really nice rug, and I think it's actually costing me an eye-watering 160 quid, but that's including postage, and it's 3 meters by 2.5, so it's enormous. So it will basically cover the whole of the dining room floor, and I can't wait till it comes next week. So I'm a bit excited about having something new for the house. I think it would have cost a lot more if I tried to buy it from a rug shop or anything like that. It would have been, because it's wool and lovely. So yeah, we got all that.
We're all sorted now. Apologies for that.
What was that?
The boiler man was testing the fire alarms, and the dog had meltdown. Noise, so I had to calm him down. So sorry about that.
Is he all right now? Is everything back to normal?
Fine.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, yes, because he sounds so sad when he cries.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I'm just looking at the chat here. So there's good conversations going on, and Jay Davis has asked Kelly what happened with the conservatory roof in the end, because of course a lot of it went flying, didn't it? It made a bid for freedom. So hopefully that's something that will get repaired. But
there's no point doing it at the moment because the weather's just diabolical.
There's a new storm coming now. What do they call it? Oh, that's it, Storm Jorge. It's coming from Spain. It has a Spanish name. But I don't know quite what that's got in store. That's meant to be tonight. Is it tonight and Saturday, or is it tomorrow? Anyway, another bloody storm.
We've totally missed one. Well, I've totally missed one then, because there was Storm Ellen, then Storm Francis. So there must have been a girl's name beginning with G that we've missed.
I think they just let the Spanish jump in and have their own. I expect we'll go back to. I'm not sure. I do remember the Ellen one.
Alphabetical, isn't it? And it alternates between girl, boy names.
It's supposed to be, yes. I'm not quite sure where the Spanish one fits into that. I don't think we've missed that many. You think we'd have noticed?
No. I think we had Ellen and Francis quite close together. They were like in quick succession, but totally missed the G one, whatever that was.
We had heavy snowfall on Monday morning, a really thick snow, and then it turned into rain and melted it all. So it was gone by the afternoon, which is quite rare here. Normally when you get heavy snow, it stays around for a week or so.
We had the same yesterday.
Yeah, we had no snow at all down here. Absolutely nothing. A bit of sleet momentarily, and that was it. All gone.
No, we got some snow, but it had been raining all morning, so it just didn't settle. Only snowed for about an hour and a half.
Yeah. I woke up to a winter wonderland yesterday, and it was like a blizzard. Trying to get Ellen to school, trying to see out the car, you know. And then by the afternoon, it was gone. And then Nick got up just after lunch and said, well, you'd never know it had snowed because you missed it all.
Missed it all. I must admit, a part of me does love snow. I love all that wintry gloriousness, but yeah, not much fun to drive in or try and function in. We got someone that I've not seen this name before. There's someone in the chat, the Sweat Mopper. There's a visually inspiring name, isn't it? Welcome. Oh dear. And Lomi's got backache, bless her. There's quite a few people with backache, isn't there, at the moment?
Yeah. How's your back, Karen?
Touching wood, okay.
That's good.
Yeah, about 3 weeks of it just been absolute hell.
Yeah.
I have spates like this. It'll go like that, and then it'll be fine. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. So.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, part of the self-care and we tend not to do is to push ourselves until it, because we've got to get things done. And then when your body goes, nah, not doing anymore, then we're all a bit sort of like, oh God, now what? Yes, difficult. My back was twingy as well, but I found this lovely new stretching yoga that I've been quite enjoying, where you kind of lay with your back on the floor and your knees bent, and then you put kind of do a slight Kenny Everett and put one leg over the other. You've got to be a certain age to know about Kenny Everett, but anyway, you sort of do that, and then you twist and drop it. Yes, exactly. It's hilarious when you see a whole class full of people doing it in yoga, and then you drop, and then what it does is it really gets into the muscles of the lower back and the bum, basically, and just fuses them out. No,
you
it really
demonstrate it, Heather. See if I can do it, because that's what I need to stretch.
Maybe privately.
Yeah.
That sounds good. So all the sciatic nerve and that would all get nicely stretched.
I do get slightly twingy, sciatic-y, and I usually know what to do with it once it's there. I can normally get rid of it quite quickly. Yes, it was a good name, the sweat mop. I'm wondering what the inspiration was, but I suppose it's the sweaty brow from working so hard at reselling. I'm thinking quite possibly.
There's some Australian resellers, and they're called Look Mum, I'm Hustling, which I thought was quite good.
Oh, sweet.
A couple, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I know, because I follow a couple of the American resellers on the YouTubes, but because I tend to have it on when I'm listing, I tend to have someone on. I've got Lex to one side at the moment doing chunky necklaces. She has a very soothing voice. I can imagine people just enjoying listening. It's a magic hand.
It's very nice to watch just before you go to bed. Makes you nice, relaxed.
Yeah. I'm sure there's an industry in that somewhere. I know Lex is busy today, otherwise she would have joined us. Goodness me. Well,
Barry's birthday today, isn't it? So Kelly's busy with Barry.
Oh, yes. Hello, Barry. Happy birthday, Barry. If you're watching, you're probably not. You're probably doing something else. Grubby mind. Grubby mind. The only person in the room. Grubby mind. Enough said. Oh, that's brilliant. You blushed as well.
That went right over my head. I was like, what are you laughing at? And then I realised.
Hello.
He's doing it on his own because Kelly's in the chat.
Multitasking. Very good at multitasking.
Sorry.
Oh dear. Oh, Pauline had an MRI. Had an MRI last Friday. Oh dear. I knew she was going to have this done. She said it wasn't comfortable. But the pain she got a week later. The MRI is the one that's really noisy, isn't it? When it sounds like you're inside a washing machine with a brick. That kind of.
Yeah. They give you headphones, but it's horrible.
I'll just leave this here. Lainey's got a very good turn of phrase.
I'm claustrophobic, so when I had one, the only tip the nurse said to me is, right, you need to put your head back as far as possible, and then you can see out the end of the tube and look at the ceiling. So that's what I had to do for half an hour, because to try and forget that I was in a tube, that I was like confined. So I just had to put my head back and look at the ceiling to try and forget that I was in a tube. It was horrible.
Yeah,
I was literally just singing to myself, not out loud, but in my head, just to try and distract my brain from where I was.
Andrew's private disco happening in an MRI machine near you. Oh dear. Oh, Kelly's multitasking apparently, so we'll just let that one lie. Yeah. So yes, well. So what else has been happening for you ladies this week? What is the event of the week? The point of discussion? What's been going on? Any volunteers?
Listing, buying, listing. Same old, really.
Because you were saying you're not doing so many clothes anymore.
No.
And that you're changing your plan, because we're always evolving, aren't we? We're always changing.
Yeah.
And this kind of place is a thing, isn't it, too? So.
Yeah. Clothing still sells. I don't want to make up the clothing doesn't sell. But if you sell in any market, whether that's clothing, whether that's electronics, whatever, you will find each market has highs and lows throughout the year. And if you're completely in one market, you're going to hit that low quite often. So, yeah. So now I'm doing a mixture of everything, but I have to be really neurotic about it. Otherwise, I'm very much like Shelley. And yes, I'm doing jewellery, but I'm keeping my jewellery listings at 400 and not going over it, because otherwise, like Shelley, I would end up with a store full of jewellery and then I'll get bored of that. So I'm trying to do a mixture of everything. And my bric-a-brac seems to be going quite well, so.
Yes, you still got your, what you called your granny shelf, your retro shelf.
It's just Cole goes, what have you brought now when he looks at it? I'm like, it's hideous, it's a sell.
Indeed, the fugly rule. Yeah. Oh, the charity shop ladies see me coming sometimes. They'll see me sort of holding up a particularly gnarly looking cardigan. I think, oh, she's here again. I said, look, I sell weird shit. It's okay.
Yeah, also, because of having Princess, who's now nice and asleep in the background, it's really hard to do clothing, because she will want to be there, she'll want to try and chew on it, and she'll want to try and grab it, and she'll want to try and get it, and it takes a lot longer to do clothing than what it used to. Whereas a bit of bric-a-brac, I shove it on the table, take a photo, done, and she can't get to it. And I find the item's specific for a lot less. It takes me a lot less time to list a non-clothing item now than it does a piece of clothing. And it's not that I'm not used to listing clothing, but I just find since they changed all their item specifics and they keep adding more to them, it's just taking it so much effort.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've got to admit, as the majority of my store is clothes and or shoes, some stuff's duplicated. I had someone actually message me and say, well, your shoes say they're a 5E, but the description, it says they're a 5D. And I went through the app and I couldn't see 5D anywhere. I'm thinking, where's this popping up? So it's clearly doing all kinds of stupid rubbish at the moment. But yeah, you know, some things are still, there's a lot more work to be done. They've got too specifics. People aren't going to search that finely. Most people haven't put them in anyway, so you're going to miss a load if you are that specific. Yeah, it's work in progress, I think, and it's got a way to go.
I got to the problem of the GSP thing last week. Basically, when I'm ending a listing, it takes the GSP off, so you've got to manually switch it across again when you relist the item.
Have you not got business policies, Karen?
No, I don't think I have.
You see, I've got business policies, so I've got postage policies all set up. So include GSP's included in the postage policy, so I don't have to do any of that.
Is that the bit you can go in and then if someone buys multiple items, you can combine the postage?
No.
Because that's the bit I need to find out where that is, because I often have to refund. If someone buys more than one thing, they'll message me and then I refund them on PayPal, one of the postage.
Yeah, that's the flat rate rule. Can't remember. I set it up so long ago. I can't remember how I did it.
Business policies are just set up. So say, I mean, for example, say my clothing, it's majority of it goes, I charge £3.50 second class. And it'll say in there how I'm posting it, how much it's costing. If they want to upgrade to shipping, it's got that in there as well. It's got how long I take dispatch time and all them details, like whether you accept GSP. And then each time you do that listing, all I have to do is click on my business policy, small parcel business policy for post, and that's it. It's all there. I haven't got to write it out each time.
Yeah.
You can't do it on your phone. You can only do it on your computer.
Yeah. There's one for you there, Karen.
I need to have a name change, Karen Sells to Clothes. I might do eventually, but to be honest, I mean, I've come back to YouTube, but I don't know how much reselling content I'm going to do. I've got a list of about 10 videos I want to make, and out of them, one of them is reselling related.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're getting all creative then, you're diversifying your content.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? I love reselling, I love what I do, right? But to me, it's a job. And I got a bit bored of just talking about the same stuff all over and over again.
Yeah.
So I have to change. It's a bit like my shop. How many different things have I sold? I get bored really easily. I have to change things up. Hence my name changed 1,000 times.
I don't know if anyone saw Zahir and Tracy talking. Was it last night? I watched a bit this morning. And Tracy was saying, don't turn your hobby into a job because you won't like it anymore. And I kind of think that's what happened with me with my sewing. And so I got so that I wasn't enjoying doing the sewing. So I know I want to sort of make some different stuff so it's more interesting for me. But I'm finding it really hard to get back into the sewing. I keep putting it on my to-do list to clean both my machines because they've been sat there for a year and they haven't been used except for once to make a cushion. And, you know, it's on my list and it just keeps going on the next list because I keep putting it off. So, which is not a good thing, really, because I used to absolutely love sewing.
Yeah, so you've got to have a real think about that. There's a reason why you're putting it off, and it's because you've got to love what you do. Yeah. And if you're going to make a living at it, there are going to be times when you don't love it so much. But I mean, I still love sourcing. That for me is the payoff. Everything else, yes, is a job, but I love sourcing and I like having pretty things about me, even if I'm not necessarily going to keep them. And that for me is enough of a motivation, I suppose.
Do you know what? Now that I'm not sourcing clothing, because I only buy clothing in bulk. It's the only place I buy it from. I buy it from one person, and I buy it in bulk, and that's the only place I buy it from now. But what I like about I love going sourcing now because I go 3-4 times a week. Because do you know what? I went to go through because we've got a big cancer research charity shop near me, so everything's £3 and under, other than gold ticket items, which is just horrendous. But I went to, I thought, I'm going to look through the dresses because, you know, £3 for a dress, I could find some. I got about 5 and I thought, why am I doing this to myself? Ugh. Whereas bric-a-brac, because it's visually, it's all there, you can just see it.
Yeah.
It's a bigger variety, I think, as well. You know, there's so many different areas of kind of hard goods, bric-a-brac stuff. You know, that there's always something new to learn. And I think if you feel that you've got to a point where you really aren't learning anything new, I think something most resellers and most of us have in common is we like learning new things to some degree, to expand our comfort zone. And because I think for a lot of people, February's been quite tough for quite a lot of people, I'm hearing, and not just in our online eBay reselling world, but actually people at the flea market this morning, people who do face bay and all these kinds of things are all feeling it. So there's something about this February where it's been quite tough. There are notable exceptions, Lex, but you know, generally, and good on it. But most people are feeling that trend that things are quite hard at the moment.
Yeah.
And that tends
people
to
are
make
spending less. Perhaps it's just a knock-on effect of that.
Yeah.
But in fairness, my last 2 Februaries have been dire as well. I mean, I'm up on last year. So how much of it is it that people haven't got the money, or is it just they've never had the money roughly this time of year because they've just paid off all their credit cards? You know.
Yeah, my last 2 Februaries were terrible. So I had a plan this year to do my big sale. So I had a 50% and a 30% sale, and that boosted my figures, and that really did help. But since that sale's ended, I've gone back down again. So I'm back in the red for the past 31 days. But I'm still up on last year, which you said that's the most important, didn't you, Karen?
Yeah, I was going to say, do you actually compare yourself to the last 30 days? Because as any business, you're going to be like this throughout the year. No, because you're a multi-billion-pound business. Yeah. You're going to be like that for your best way. If you want to grow, if that's what not everyone wants to grow a business. You know, but if you want to grow a business, you're best comparing year on year on year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even then,
I know you get good and bad months. It's just that side of me that hates seeing the red. It's like with the item specifics, I get really annoyed that it says I've got 100 and something item specifics. What's the point in putting them in? Most of them are useless. I put the important ones in, but there's a little part of my brain that goes, you haven't done that bit, and it's saying you've got to do it, and I get really stressed about it.
Yeah, it's like notifications on your phone. It's like I don't need to look at my phone now, but the notification is there and the little numbers there, and I just have to do that. I feel compelled to go in and look at it so that number goes away.
Yeah, I think I've got something like 15,000 undeleted emails.
Oh my God.
Carl is like, if he gets an email, it has to be deleted straight away. If he gets a message, delete it, just because he doesn't like it sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's different with these things, but I think they do try and drive you down a certain path, and I think it's been able to resist it without it actually eating away at your brain. You know, that would be a good thing. I mean, every time I get questions, I want to deal with them messages on eBay. I think if I deal with them quickly, then it's not, I've got nothing outstanding. Then affecting my algorithm possibly, or whatever.
The thing is also, like, if you like where you're getting concerned about your sales going down, etc., you could even be down on last year but be up, because if you've gone, you could be buying better. So what your turnover is relative, you know, to what you've spent. You can have a turnover. I mean, Z and Beck say it all the time, don't they? You know, you can have a turnover of £2,000 for the week, but you spent 2,500 to make that £2,000. You know.
Yeah, I was nearly £2,000 up when I done my my tax return. I was £2,000 up than I was the year before. So I definitely have got better and started buying better, and you know, seen a better profit. So that's good.
It's the big picture, isn't it? You've got to look at the big picture and not get caught up in the small madnesses of eBay. I mean, I know this coming tax year that I am going to do, my turnover and hopefully my profit will be more than it was last year. So I'm happy with that as growth. But I also recognise that I'm one person doing this all on my own, so that there is going to be a sort of a limit to how much I physically want to do, can do, am able to store and things like that, which is why for me the organisation has been the thing this year, because the only way I actually thought I could get better and do more is if I had a better environment to work in and more organisation. But that's just me. Somebody else could be completely different.
You think school's got a lot to answer for? Because like when we were at school, we always got compared to other people. So it's hard to get out of that, of comparing yourself to other people, because that's all what happened when you were at school. What place you were in, what your grades were and everything like that. Whereas now you've just got to be as good as you can be, but it's really hard not to compare yourself to other people and what other people are doing.
Especially in this, you know, in reselling, we're all different, have different needs, we all do it differently, and you know, it's not like, well, you say it all the time, it's not one size fits all, is it? So you know, it's silly to compare yourself to how someone else is running their business, because your business is completely different. It may be called the same thing, but it's completely different.
Let's be honest, right? We're all in second-hand retail, right? It would be like Poundland comparing themselves to Harrods.
Yeah.
And that's not saying either model is wrong, but they're not the same. I mean, how can you compare yourself to someone that sells completely different stuff, has completely different amount of time to put into it, has completely different expenses, has completely different resources that they can get the stock from? You can't.
No.
Well, exactly. And this whole thing of the comparing and that feeling of, oh, I should be doing better, tends to only happen when things aren't going so well for yourself. And that's the time, absolutely the one time you really shouldn't be trying to compare yourself to anybody.
Yeah.
We got Carla in the house, Carla Jenkins.
Carla.
Hello. Oh dear, yeah. She's
What
busy.
does Carla want to hide?
Yeah, hide that instruction.
How many item specifics? Because on the app now, it's got a bit there that tells you, doesn't it? Which I hate. I need to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't list on the app at the moment, so that kind of helps a little bit. That it's not all. There's a bit more flexibility on the main site, but as Sweatmopper said, you know, the specifics can be very contradictory, and when it starts asking you for an inside leg on a skirt suit, I just have to giggle, really. I just ignore it. It's like irrelevant. Ignore.
And they've still not put cardigan in. It's my one big bugbear.
A waistcoat.
All these extra in fabric type.
Yeah, and being able to look for a waistcoat would be a good thing.
And in sleeve types, I'd just like plain long sleeved or short sleeved. That's what I would like.
That would be it. Yeah, that's as far as I go, and they can see from the pictures what kind of a sleeve it is.
I would love to know who this consultant was that they used to get these item specifics from. They must have said, right, we want 6 million specifics, make some up, because it's just ridiculous.
Getting drunk. Put this one in.
It just takes so long to go through all the time. Like, you know, every single time I have to look to see whether something's relevant.
All the different categories have different requirements. So depending on whether you're listing something that is a skirt or trousers or a jacket, they seem to have different things that they require. Things like the fabric content. Sometimes it won't let you put in polyester blend. You have to just put or wool blend. You have to just put wool. It's like, but it isn't all wool.
Yeah.
So,
So I just enter my own and put.
Yeah, I do.
Whatever.
I add it on the end purely because I don't want someone going, oh, you know, we sort of wool jacket and it says in the item specifics. I know it means it don't get pulled up by it, but I don't want an iron ad for no reason.
I love this. I just misread it, actually. I don't search nylon polyester bell end shirt with glue. That's what I thought it said. Point taken.
Yeah, well, I had a question yesterday. The one thing that I've listed recently that someone's cut the tag out of, so I don't know what it's made of and I don't know what the washing instructions are on it. But the one time somebody asks me, what is the fabric content of this? And I'm thinking,
I don't know.
I don't know, but is that relevant? I mean, do people really shop, looking for fabric content?
Some people
is it
do.
something quite usual, or is it something like vintage that you couldn't find one similar for sale?
I didn't hear the beginning of that, Corinne.
Is it something unusual, or is it something?
Yeah, it's a vintage Hobbs top.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I had a skirt that someone had cut the label out, and I found it on someone else had it listed, so I found the content, the fabric content.
I normally write if the label's been cut out, even if I find one similar. I normally write in there that unfortunately there's no serial label inside, so I'm sure serial content. If I found one, I'll say I have found one similar which says it's this, but I cannot guarantee it's this fabric content.
Oh, right. Okay.
Well, there wasn't anything similar, and I replied and told her that the label had been cut out. She says, "Oh, that's fine. But would you say it was cottony, nylon-y, or viscosy to feel?" And being as I could now put it in a bag and sealed it up, I couldn't actually go and have a look.
I would have said
trying to remember what it felt like, and I said, well, I'd say out of those options, probably more cottony, but I couldn't be sure. Didn't buy it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. The ones with the most questions quite often just.
My favourite question, which you know it's going to end up coming back to you, is it stretchy? That means basically it's the wrong size for you. No, it's
I do get the most convoluted questions about, well, would you say it's a small 14 or a large 12? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just a 12. I really have no clue. I'm sorry. It's like, no, I can't model these size 3 shoes for you. I've got size 6 feet. You don't.
Someone messaged me about my phase 8 coat that I've got for sale, and she said, I don't know if you know, but phase 8 come up quite small, and my mum had tried it on because it's a size 16, which she is, and she said, oh, it's a bit tight. And I said, oh, they obviously come up quite small. So I put the measurement in, and then someone messaged me and said, did you stretch the coat when you measured it? No, I just measured it. I didn't stretch. Why would I stretch the coat?
Yeah, you got it. You got it in grips. You stretched it as far as you could.
Yeah,
I do know they come up small. It's like, for goodness sake.
Genius, Carla, just genius. I'm going to use that one in my next response and see what happens.
Yeah.
Love that.
I have been asked by people, when something's got an elasticated waist, can you measure it stretched to the max?
Oh, God.
What the measurement is on that. So I do actually put that in now because I think, well, maybe that's relevant. But
yeah.
No, I normally, unfortunately, I haven't got a third hand. Two to stretch it and one to measure it.
Yeah, I kind of hold on to the tape measure and then pull it out like that, and there's a knack. but yeah, just to stop that sort of question, you think, oh, I better put that in then.
But you still get the most inane measurements coming along. I mean, some of them, the measurements, you're like, who measures that part?
Yeah. I put most things in, but because my stuff is stored in a garage a good 5+ minutes away, I don't really want to be stood in a freezing cold garage trying to hunt something down to open the bag up just to measure something, because no, it's not worth it.
Yeah. And you've got to seal it all back up again and refold it and
stick it,
and they won't buy it.
Yeah. Well, it's normally you get through loads of them questions, and say you've got something on for £20, get through all of the questions that they've asked, and they say, we do it for £5 posting. Oh, we just go away now.
Yeah.
I did try something a little bit different in that when I put my new stuff on auction, I put the best offer option as well. I thought I'd try that. I know Lexus had to go with it and had a little success. And I thought, well, I'll just do it. I had about 30 items that were still on auction. So I just kind of shoved it on, and within about 20 minutes, I got 2 stupidly low offers and nothing else. So I'm like, I'm just going to take it off again. It's pointless.
Yeah.
It caused me grief.
We've done the same thing and put our offers on our auctions, and always just get offers under the starting bid. And I think, well, why would you do that? We've obviously started it at a price for a reason, because that's
fair price
to accept.
Yeah. No, but it's like, will you take £5 for this jacket? And I'm like, hang on, it's on for $14.99. I'm not that bloody desperate. Go away. I just ignore them, to be fair. I just ignore.
I have got a couple of auctions on at the moment, but they're things I'm not sure the price on. So I have put best offer on, because I've just picked a price out of my head. And if I get a semi-decent offer, even if it's below it, I'll probably take it.
If it was a decent offer, yeah, absolutely. And I think that's why I put it there, because I thought, you know, if I got offered a couple of quid less on something, I might take it. But yeah, it was seriously like taking the P offers. Oh, well, you know, we live and learn. You've got to keep trying things and experimenting, because, you know, that's part of the learning process. Anyone had any amazing sales this week?
I sold my All Saints silk dress finally, so I was really pleased about that. Please don't come back, please.
Stay away.
Well, we had a fantastic £300 sale for a car light. And the guy was back and forth with the questions, funnily enough. And he said, well, you know what? I'm going to give it a go, and I'm going to, you know, I'm going to take a chance that it's right for my car. And Nick said, well, to make it clear, if you do buy it and it doesn't fit your car, it's not right for your car, then you have to return it at your cost. And he said, yes, absolutely fine. So he got this thing, he had it fitted by the garage, and he messaged us and said, so happy with this, it fits perfectly, it's working really well, thank you so much. And we were like, yes, fantastic, good, £300 sale. Yesterday, I'm going to have to return this because it's got water in it, and when I went out in the rain with it yesterday, it's got water and condensation in it, and it's faulty. So I'm going to have to return it now. So he's opened up a return for a damaged items, which obviously we have to pay the return for. And yeah, we're absolutely livid.
Could it not have been the garage's fault?
Yeah, I reckon so. If he's telling the truth and he's not sending us his old light,
could be.
Yes, I would say the garage have not fitted it correctly.
So hopefully this light has got its own unique serial number. Is that what you're hoping for?
Don't know if it has or not.
Right.
I sold some vintage hair rollers at the weekend. I couldn't remember what I sold this week. They're a bit right old 80s. I picked them up for £2, sold them for £25 plus postage. So
nice. It's funny how some of those things do so well, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got another set. I've just put them on. They're on for 30 plus postage. So
yeah, I was going to say, when you find something good like that, you just want to keep buying it and keep buying it.
Yeah. Well, I picked them both up at the same time, and I had to test them. And you know, if you've got to test something, it just sits there, doesn't it, until you really are bored. By testing it, I mean literally plugging it in, making sure they heat up, because I've got heat indicator lights on them, and making sure they were hot when the heat indicator light was on. Not actually curling this frizz ball of a hair, but yeah. So I tested them. No fun.
Bye, Carla. Carla's off to pick that up.
Oh. Well, Carla. Yes, because she would have popped in otherwise, but she's running around today. I was quite pleased because in the depths of the horrific winter weather that we've been having, I sold a Polkadot bikini. I was like,
yeah,
hey,
hello.
Quite a lot of the summer clothing started selling now for me.
It's starting to shift, actually. I'm seeing, I realise that by the end of March, you might as well pack all your jumpers up and just hold them all for next year. Get put away.
Yeah.
Well, behind that yellow Mac, that yellow, trench, behind the yellow trench is some summer dresses. So I might get those steamed this week and put them on.
Yeah. I've just pulled out a load of like floaty sort of boho tops and summer dresses and stuff to do. So.
See, I have one bag, one listed, and that's it. Everything else is just listed, and it just keeps going round and round and round till it sells. Or I go, you know what, putting it in and bundling it. So I
also have one of these Calyx boxes full of Clark sandals to list as well. So
wow, yeah, we need to get them on. We've got a little bit of advice here from Joe Davis. Do you security marks? That's quite a neat one, isn't it?
Well, he's opened the return and it's been auto accepted. So
this is the problem with being a business seller, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Nick's going to try and phone eBay today, but I reckon they'll just say, you know, we can't do anything until you've got the item back.
Yeah.
You know what, though, and this is going to go on to the things that we didn't really want to talk about, onto the seller update things. You know, they've decreased the time that you've got to respond to an INR. I mean, I don't get many of them, to be honest, because most of it's tracked, because small parcels are all tracked anyway, and big stuff goes Hermes. It's only large letters, but Touchwood, haven't really had any go missing yet. But they're shortening the amount of time you've got for the INR, aren't they? So they're saying like you've got to have cases closed within 3 rather than 8 days. Why can't they shorten the time for unpaid item cases?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, someone buys something, we technically have to wait a week.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
I've got 48 hours on mine.
No, because that's 48 hours before you can open the case, and you've got to wait another 5 days before you can close the case.
Oh, I see. Sorry. Yeah.
But anywhere else you buy anything, you expect to have the money then and there, don't you? You don't just buy something and then think, oh, well, I'll pay for it next week. I just think it's just so ridiculous.
Yeah. Or why accept an offer or make an offer and then not pay for it? And that always frustrates me.
Yeah. And it's never the higher end stuff, is it? It's always the lower end stuff. I think you haven't got like £4 plus postage to pay for this like top, really? Don't think you should be buying on eBay if you've not got that kind of money.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, George Ross did do a video, and I did catch some of that about these new updates. And I think opinions are going to vary, but I think Karen and I were talking about this just before we went live, and saying it's difficult to have an opinion on something when you really haven't got the full information. And even if you click that thing that says you're interested in it, it doesn't mean that you've got to do it. You know, it's not a legally binding contract, it's expressing interest anyway, so I don't think anyone should panic. But obviously what's happening in America is that they must be much further ahead with it all. And also, if they're going to do it, they're going to make us do it.
Yeah,
they're going to have to. They're just trying to get some people to try it out first and iron out the glitches, of which there will be legion, as we know, because that's how it rolls. But I can't really see too much of a need for panic right now, though, because we don't know much.
I think I'm just going to cross the bridge when I come to it, when you've got no choice but to cross that bridge. And I think until then, I'll just stick.
We're not going to get a choice, are we? So we just have to, you know, go along with it and hope for the best. But from what Hannah replied to Carla, is that in the US, with the deposits, you can either ask for it to be done daily or weekly. So that's not too bad, is it?
Yeah.
You know, so you can actually get your deposits daily if you wanted to. Yeah.
I'd probably end up doing something like weekly, simply because it's not a business bank account I've got. I literally have a bank account that I just use. I don't want, if you start having a business bank account, you can be looking at expenses. But there's a lot to consider, but we don't have full information. And there were people having a bit of a fret about, does that mean we won't, PayPal won't be accepted? And as far as I could see, that wasn't on the table.
I think PayPal will just be paid via this. So PayPal will pay them and they'll pay us.
Yeah. So as far as the
methods that they can use.
Yeah, there's no difference.
I'm just worried that there might be double fees, so I'm hoping that won't happen.
I think they're saying that probably won't happen, but like I said, they haven't really come clean about what the implications are fees-wise for us yet. They probably don't truly know yet, I suspect.
But that's it. That's the impression I'm getting. I mean, Hannah said there are some things that we can tell you and some things that we can't, and I think the things they can't is just simply because they haven't ironed it all out yet.
Yeah, they don't know.
Am I the only one that thinks it's absolutely stupid that they've released it and they don't even know what they're doing yet?
Yeah.
I think that's stupidity. Because if you're going to do it, right, they're going to do it, right? It's not a, you may if you wish to. They're going to do it. You ain't going to have an option about it. Why not get all the finite details sorted and then say, right, in the next 6 months, we're going to start transitioning you all over. If you'd like to try it out, we're going to start off, we're going to pay the beta testers daily or weekly, choose one and say you will have the options to have this. This is what the fees will be. It's just stupidity, in my opinion, not actually having all the information there.
Yeah.
They let the government do it though, don't they? The government roll things out and they don't have the full facts.
Yeah.
True.
Indeed.
Kelly's just said, both my daughters buy most of their stuff online, but neither have PayPal. So the extra payment options should be a bonus, which is very true, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had, what was it, an e-check, or it was something weird that happened where there was a delay of about 10 days between the poor person buying something and then me being told that their check or e-check had cleared, and then I could actually send them the item. And I'd never had that before, so that was a bit of a new one. But presumably if they tighten all this sort of thing up, there shouldn't be these big delays, which, could offset some of the other issues, because you're giving people other ways to pay. And so hopefully more people will then come in, and you're not putting people off who already use PayPal. They can just carry on as normal.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Just something about bank accounts as well, if anyone's worried. I spoke to my bank manager at Santander, and they said that they were happy with me just having an ordinary account, and they just treated my payments that went in as like they were my employer. So they said I didn't need to have a business account. They're just treating the payments that I put in from PayPal the same as someone who would have their wages put in. So don't worry too much about thinking that you have to get a business account. I don't know what other banks are doing, but that's what the Santander manager said to me. So
I think it's more the frequency of payments, because I don't know how everyone else does it. If you pay yourself weekly or monthly, or just draw down money when it's needed, which is what I tend to do when I remember. But if there's lots of little amounts going in, I wonder if all banks will see it that way. But it's a good point, Karen, and I guess we all have to look into that a bit. At least if they give us the choice.
I am going to have to open myself up another bank account now. That'd be number 4. I treat my PayPal as that's my nest egg. So if I have a quiet month, I've got money put in now to draw out. So it's all sitting now. So I need to really get another bank account so when it starts, it just gets paid into there, and then I pay myself how much I pay myself every week.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I need to do. Because if I put it all in my bank account, I'll spend it, and then I'll have quite a week. I've got no money.
Yeah, I mean that's a valid point. Maybe they can't make you have a business account. I don't quite know how that works.
I think it would only really be if you had payments going into the bank from people. You can't accept credit and debit card payments into your bank. So yeah,
I suppose we're all just going to have to see how it comes out. I mean, if it has happened in America first, I don't know if that's the case. If they're ahead of us in some way, we'll obviously hear a lot about it, I'm sure.
Isn't it in Germany as well? Didn't they do it on eBay.de as well?
Oh, they might have done, yes.
I'm sure I read something.
I think I saw something as well. Yeah. They might have done that. Yeah, it's all going to be fun. But one thing that you can be sure of with eBay, it's always changing.
Very rapidly, it seems. This whole year is just one thing after another.
And I don't know about anyone else. My app seems to be updating and changing daily.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every day there's something different on my app. It's like, will you just leave the blinking thing alone?
Yeah.
And I still haven't got that background thing on mine. Apparently, yeah, well, I don't mind. I use mostly white backgrounds anyway, or whatever background I think.
It's got glitches anyway, that hasn't it? I've seen a lot of people using it, and it's like the item out. Yeah.
It's easily confused, much like me, really. It's very easy.
I like my background, because it looks just as good with that.
Yeah, and I think if everybody's background is white, everything's going to look the same. Now, maybe it's that modernisation of their product, which is the way they look at it. But I also think that's not, some things do look great against a white background. Not everything does.
Yeah, I don't like doing my bric-a-brac against a white background. I like it being a lot more homely.
Yeah, I've got wallpaper that looks like grey bricks, and that's
Yeah.
what I use as my background for all my stuff that goes on my photography table, and that looks quite nice as a background. It's just like grey bricks wallpaper.
Mine depends where Princess is as to where I take photos. Sometimes it's on the table, sometimes it's on the sofa, sometimes it's on the floor by my hallway door. Sometimes it's just random places.
I've got a wooden floor, so quite often think colours pop much better against that than they would against white. And Julie again's going to be a different thing because that likes to have a nice black background or something like that. So yeah, I think it depends what you're doing, but none of us particularly like being herded in one direction. I think that's when we all start to dig in our heels and kick back and get a bit sort of feisty about it all. But generally, I don't think they can actually push you that much. You know, there's always going to be a level of self-determination about it.
I mean, there's certain things they will bring in that they'll force, like, you know, I mean, like, you know, we have to take returns and things like that, legality, but I think it'd be hard pushed to get us to all conform on to doing certain backgrounds and things like that. That's a bit pathetic. I might as well go and work for somewhere else if I'm going to do that. Yeah.
What I would love to do one day, I just wish I could somehow get hold of their long-term business strategy documents and see what are they thinking? You know, where are they trying to go with this? Because I think maybe they haven't got one. Blimey, can you imagine?
I think they're mega confused. I think part of them wants to be like Amazon and part of them wants to be like Facebook Marketplace, and they just can't decide which they want to be.
So they're trying to compete with everybody. With the apps, they're trying to compete with like Depop and Etsy and they just need to be themselves, really.
They just need to allow. We're the middle bit, aren't we? We're the little bit in the middle that you know, we're not the massive sellers, but we're not also purveyors of, I don't know, £5,000 cabinets or whatever. You know, we are selling day-to-day bread and buttery sort of stuff that people generally enjoy. And if a film studio wants to find something, they'll come on eBay first, because if there's weird shit out there, it's going to be on eBay.
Yeah, that's off the BBC, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Every time that, you know, there's a new series coming, or they're saying, "Oh, we're going to commission this drama," you're like, right, okay, get my 1950s stuff out there.
Yeah, I always find myself looking at the props or what they're wearing and thinking, how much of that did they buy on eBay?
Loads of it, because they've got departments of people who hunt down the props. So I bought a lovely sort of camel colour coat that's pure 70s. It's immaculate. It looks like it's never been worn. And it's just and I know there's going to be some movie person in that, because it's so of the era, you know. It's brilliant. So I hope that goes to a good home and I get to see it on telly.
Because you watch Call the Midwife, don't you, Andrea? Did you notice this series, because they've gone into, is it 1970?
Are they in 1970?
Or is it something else? Oh no,
60s.
Not that. Endeavour. No,
I don't watch that.
Well, that's gone into 1970, and the props were just brilliant. And I just thought, I wonder if any of that stuff in that living room is from a reseller, because they just had so much stuff that was pure 1970s.
Yeah, well, Call the Midwife is in the 60s now.
Yeah,
I'm just loving looking at the fashions and the bags they're carrying and shoes. Oh, it's just lush to look at.
Fun fact for you: a lot of the early Call the Midwife series were filmed near me.
Oh.
Wow.
But that's the thing, when you see a representation of the 70s interior and you look at it and think no one had an interior that cool or that consistent. No. Most people had all kinds of mad shit from the decades beforehand. Usually covered in sort of fudge brown colours and so good taste in the 70s is a very different thing to what you see on telly. How people really lived.
Oh, just going back to what I was saying before about the change, making so many changes. I've said it before. I feel like the people at eBay need to justify the job and the department that they're in, so they can't just leave it alone, because they've got to be seen to be doing something. Otherwise, they're going to lose their job. So they just make loads of changes, because then they're busy doing that and they're justifying their job. Whereas if they don't change anything, what are they going to do?
Well, exactly.
Maybe.
Well, Rachel used to work for eBay. And they were always mega keen on white backgrounds, but being keen on them doesn't mean that you can make your sellers use them.
Yeah.
If you use
The thing is, like us, we have to adapt and we have to change, and eBay does have to do it, but it does seem maybe they're a bit too quick, a bit too often. You know, because if it was still the same as it was before they had PayPal, so we were still waiting for checks to come through. I mean, seriously, I wouldn't be selling on eBay. I wouldn't be waiting for checks coming through. Like I mean, so what? Say if you have to wait a week for someone to post the check, then you have to wait another week for the check to clear. You imagine you'd have a pile of listed stock, a pile of sold but you're waiting for payment, a pile of sold you're waiting for cleared. I mean, you used to do it back then as well, didn't you, Andrea?
Did you get actual money in the post?
You know, before PayPal, pre-PayPal, you were selling on eBay, wasn't you?
Yes. We were. We used to get checks in the mail.
That must be a lava. But then everyone used to sell on auction as well, didn't they?
Yeah, and also you had to wait for the check to clear before you posted out. So people weren't expecting things like in 2 days' time. They were waiting a good week or more before they were receiving things.
Yeah, different times. I mean, some things are improved, clearly, but there's also the stuff that isn't so good.
Yeah.
Roundabouts. Yeah.
And let's be honest, we all say we're adaptable, etc. But when it's things that we're not changing, we don't like it. we don't matter, even if in a year's time we go, yeah, this is better. And that's why we're going to kick our feet and throw our dummy out of the pram, aren't we? You know.
Yeah, but the thing is, we can't really do much about it. So if we want to sell on eBay, we've just got to get on with it, haven't we? Really? And we're all lumbered with eBay. As Stephanie's just said, I'm Turbo Lister. Yeah, we used to use Turbo Lister.
Yeah.
Fill it all up in the day and then send it off at the end of the day. All your listings will go live.
Wow.
Yeah.
God. Those were the days, Checks and postal orders in the country.
When we used to sell like CDs and media and stuff, we'd scan it. We'd scan the cover, you know. So you wouldn't like be sitting up and taking photographs. We'd just stick it on the scanner, scan it, crop it. That was our picture.
Wow.
Very rudimentary.
Well, we've kind of come to the end of an hour, actually, ladies. So we've been very chatty. And some lovely conversation in the chat as well. So thank you, everybody, for contributing. I don't know who's doing Seller Ladies next week. Andrea's in charge of the rota, but
I think it's me.
Is it you?
I think it's me. Yeah, I was just reading Rachel and Cheryl saying that Rachel used to get checks and postal orders. Yes, postal orders as well. And some people used to send cash. Yes, they did.
And it got to you?
Cheryl says, I used to get checks, total pain, 16 years now on eBay, glad it's changed. Yeah, I'm glad that aspect of it's changed.
Thumbs up to eBay for that.
Really, really pleased with that.
That would have been for internet banking, so you'd have had to go to the bank to see what check cleared if one of them had them.
Or someone they sent it to you and it not having arrived because of the post.
Yeah, Nick says we would get cash in the post too. Actual coins. Yeah, we used to get them like taped to pieces of card, like coins in there.
Oh my God. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh dear. I'm surprised. Yeah, pay you in stamps or something. Oh dear.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Except for the one time that we went to a jumble sale and Nick put his purse down, his wallet down, full of checks, had about a wad of checks like that. We were just about to go to the bank on the way home. And somebody picked it up and went off with it. So we lost God knows how much money.
Oh, wow.
The person that took his wallet couldn't have done anything with it because all the checks were made out to us, but we didn't have them anymore.
Oh no.
So yeah.
Oh, well, thank goodness things have changed. Thank goodness. So we can't be too harsh with eBay. It has its good sides, but
it does.
They need to sort themselves out and tell us what's going on. So thank you everyone for joining us. It's been lovely to have you all along. Join us again. Pop in and watch the videos. Do what you need to do and have fun. And we will see you next week. Tatty bye, everybody. If I press the right button and don't take my we'll say goodbye. Here we go. Yes, we're ending it. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Don't press leave studio.